Okay. 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 Good evening, Sunny.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's go to initiate the seminar. Let me introduce Sunny. Sunny is a doctoral student, first year student at the Institute of Biological Science, University of Talca. He will present in now his seminar, seminar 1, which consists of a bibliographical review on a topic of interest for the doctoral program. Okay, Sunny, welcome, and can you share,
And
please,
thank you.
your presentation on Zoom?
Mm.
Thank you.
Mm.
You can start. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Tani Ahmed, and I am recently doctor student in University of Dhaka. So today I will going to present a overview on regulation of flowering time by diverse regulatory factor in rapeseed, the control of flowering time in rapeseed, and how to boost up the flowering time and generation time in rapeseed. So this is my just personal profile, which is previously I have done my work experience and my education. Previously, I have done master degree in crop breeding and genetics from Huacheng Agriculture University, China. And now I am doing the plant genetics, PhD in plant genetics, University of Talca. During my master degree, I have did two projects. One is the regulation of flowering time by targeting mutation of the SVP gene with CRISPR-Cas9, which I will explain in my PPT also. And also we had did the targeted mutation of EOD3 gene in Brassica napus, which control the grain size and regulate the seed production in rapeseed. During my master degree, I have published 5 journal article as a first author and several participate in different article in as a co-author. So my expertise is I can do the CRISPR-Cas9 vector to knock out from any gene and the plant tissue culture techniques, gene cloning, and every molecular techniques. So I can speak English, Urdu, and Chinese as well little. And now I am learning to Spanish is also. So this is the outlook of my review of literature. First, I will describe the introduction, then we will go through the literature review, then the result introduction. This is actually, I will present the combination of review of literature. Then we have what conclusion about the review of literature, and then we have proceed in future prospectus. So rapeseed. Rapeseed is the essential oil seed crop as a source of edible oil for human and a protein-rich feed for the animal, biodiesel, and industry raw material. Role of flowering time in Brassica napus. So flowering period is considered a critical trait in Brassica napus. Why? Because it reduces the reduction risk of the hybrid seed production. Intensive and short photoperiod give rise to good consistency of maturity time, consistency of the flower development and transition of flowering. And if we control the flowering time, then we can obtain the higher plant yield across the year and to speed up the innovation of the new hybrids. So extensive study on genetic control and network for flowering time revealed that the several flowering control pathways are entitled in this process. The present review add to prior knowledge about the flowering time, its pathway, various genes deployed in Brassica napus. Furthermore, we will describe different strategies to control the flowering time improvements such as speed breeding, GWAS, cutal mapping, genome editing by CRISPR-Cas9 and CRISPR-CPF1, targeted genetic mutation, modification of flowering behavior. After our experiment, what we have conclude from this review article. So there are 6 autonomous regulatory pathway that is control the flowering in rapeseed as well as the model plant in Rhabdopsis. Photoperiodic pathway, vernalization pathway, autonomous pathway, temperature pathway, age, and gibberellic pathway. But photoperiodic pathway, the vernalization pathway is very famous and they are directly controlled to the flowering time. If we increase the photoperiodic pathway, then the generation time will be boosted up. So this is the some QTL for flowering plant identify with association analysis. Different scientists, different researchers recently discovered the candidate gene by QTL mapping and GWAS with according to their flowering pathway, like photoperiodic pathway. They have concluded these. We have a collection of these candidate genes by different researchers, which they have done these studies. This is the table is very long, so I just put a short to just the idea about the periodic clock and a vernalization pathway. This paper will be online maybe in 1 month. You can see to collect the all information. So this is all the candidate gene in recently described in rapeseed. So this is the description of from 1990 to 220. All work is done in rapeseed related to flowering time. Either is the pedigree method, molecular mapping, gene cloning, GWAS, QTL mapping, and the CRISPR-Cas9 and speed breeding. You can see we have collected the huge information from the conventional breeding to speed breeding. So you can see how the world change and the rapeseed changing from conventional breeding to speed breeding. So the last paper I have collected for this, that they have concluding the different events that to understanding how plant transition the flowering under real environmental condition. So these are the related to flowering time in rapeseeds. So this is the genetic network responsible for the flowering time. Every pathway had different genes. Like photoperiod pathway has some responsible gene is controlling photoperiod pathway. But this gene is calculated with different pathway and interact with each other to playing a role. Some is controlling late flowering time in rapeseed, and some is responsible for early flowering in rapeseed. So according to our review of literature and every study, so 3 gene we have concluded 3 gene it is mainly responsible on controlling the flowering time, late flowering in rapeseed. The short vegetative phase, flowering locus C, FLC, and FRI. FLC is a vernalization rely on vernalization pathway, and FRI also. But the SVP rely on vernalization pathway is and as well as also in photoperiodic pathway. So we have choose 3 genes. So, and study that if the loss of the responsible gene in model plant leads to early flowering phenotype, which is the work is done by Hartman et al. In 2000. So according to this, concluded that if we successfully knock out these 3 genes is also in rapeseed, the loss of functional mutation in responsible gene could lead to the early flowering. Here you can see the graphical abstract of the literature. We choose the wild type plant, which is very showing late flowering, almost 9 months. After we have did the CRISPR-Cas9, knock out the responsible gene, then we have get the early flowering, which will I will explain in later. The short vegetative phase, we have done 3 in this literature, the 3 genes we have done, but I will explain only 1 gene. If I will explain 3 genes, the same result and discussion of and the interaction with each other, maybe it will take much time. So I will go through the short vegetative phase gene. The SVP gene plays a significant role in response to ambient temperature and the ambient temperature fluctuation. It has been found that the SVP homolog, this is the previous study, can promote the flowering transition in tomato and the bell pepper. In barley, the overexpression of the SVP-like genes lead to increase of specific branches. So these studies suggested that the SVP gene could be necessary for the genetic network behind the development of various inflorescence structures. So the importance and timely nature of this review, why we did this. In the recent part, the morphological trait and genetic network of the flowering phenomena is only observed in the model plant Arabidopsis thaliana, but some recent lab is also doing in different crop, but this knowledge is still limited in rapeseed. Therefore, a brief revision of previous finding, current knowledge and future prospects regarding the conservation and the divergence of the mechanism that control the flowering time in Brassica napus are still needed. This review as follows: as understand the function of the flowering genes by deploying the targeted mutation in polyploidy species of rapeseed, and also the molecular identity of the mutant. If we knock out this gene, then with what type of mutation we have observed like insertion, deletion, a single mutant, double mutant, triple mutant, and what is the role in on phenotypic of this mutation in rapeseed. Investigate the performance of the mutant, including flowering time, growth between the wild type and the mutant plants. Scientific method addressed in this literature, different we have choose you can say we have follow the different protocol by different scientists, like the phylogenetic and bioinformatic analysis. We use the online tool Meme Bele scientist, the Cas9 construction. We have followed the Proctor Ma et al. And the transformation method which we have developed in our lab by Yang et al. The previous method we have done the mutation screening by two methods. One is the page method, which is this is a conventional method which is available commonly. But one the recent method is developed with the Hightom method, Liu et al. So I will explain this method in next slide. And we have the also that the analysis of the potential of target if the CRISPR-Cas9 knock out the responsible gene. Either they have, like the CRISPR has a drawback, either they have the off-target effects of this gene or not. So also field experimental and phenotypic. So this is, I will explain the Hightom. Why we choose the Hightom? Because Hightom is a specific method to screening the mutation screening by CRISPR-Cas9. They will tell you the exact amount of the homozygous plants, like the 1% homozygous plant or the 12% homozygous plant or the 50% homozygous plant. So this is the illustration. First of all, we need to design the target specific primer. Then this target specific primer, then we need to do the barcoded primer, then send the result, send the product to the company for sequencing. After the result, when the result is came back, then you need to prepare a TXT file and then put your wild type sequence as a reference sequence and the mutant sequence. Then you need to upload the on a website. So you can see here, I will explain the result about the Hightom. You can see this plant is 91% is the wild type. WT is representing wild type. Wild type means so in maybe this plant in next generation should be 100% wild type. So we will not choose this plant. So this is the time saving according to this result. And you can see here is a 95% is one insertion. It means it is a 95% homozygous, and I am sure and this plant in the next generation will be 100% homozygous. So we can choose this plant. And you can see here the heterozygous example. 56% is one substitution, but the 40% wild type. So this is a possibility. Either the plant will be the heterozygous or either the plant will be the homozygous in the next generation. So this method is very reliable to screening the mutation of the CRISPR. So the bioinformatic analysis showing that this copy in SVP is only one copy in Rhabdopsis, but the in the rapeseed they have 4 homologous with each other. So we have also did the phylogenetic analysis and some motif analysis and observed that the correlation between these copies, like the motif 1 present is in all copies of the brassica BNA SVP, and motif 2 and 3 and motif 5 is only present in the 3 copies, and motif 4 and motif 6 is present in the only the 2 copies. So these results showing that the nucleotide percentage with each other. So after that, the construction of the CRISPR-Cas9 vector to knock out the 4 copies of the BNA SVP in rapeseed. So we have designed the 4 sgRNA to knock as a target to knock out these copies, and we have to construct the vector according to the Ma et al. With the 4 promoter and